Happy Sunday, folks. First off, I want to start the video off by congratulating Amanda Nunes for her dominant victory last night against Felicia Spencer. Congratulations to the GOAT, the queen of MMA. Now I want to talk about Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder potentially happening in Sydney, Australia. Now, look what I came across. Boxing promoter Dean Lonergang has tentatively booked Bankwest Stadium for Boxing Day as he pushes ahead with plans to host a super fight between heavyweights Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury in Sydney later this year. And then it goes on to say that Tyson Fury's promoter, Bob Arum, is basically planning on having the fight happen in Macau, China, or Australia, the third fight. Now, I don't know how that fight would take place in Australia or China. I don't know if it's going to be able to take place there because I don't know if Deontay Wilder is willing to fight there. Because Deontay Wilder is not a fighter that typically travels and fights abroad. I mean, the only time he traveled abroad was when he fought Ali Harrison in England about 7 years ago. But that was Ali Harrison, it was a guy who was way past his best, and it was a foregone conclusion fight. And then I believe he fought also in Mexico once, or was it Puerto Rico? But that was years ago as well. So I don't know how likely Deontay Wilder would want to go and leave the U.S. to fight somewhere like in Sydney, Australia. And is that a good idea to have this fight happen in Sydney, Australia? I mean, they're not Australian, both of these guys, Wilder or Tyson Fury. And is boxing even big in Australia? I mean, who do they got in Australia? Jeff Horn? Jeff Horn, like, to be honest with you, like, when I think of Australian boxers, that's the only guy that comes to mind. Jeff Horn. That's it. Big when it comes to boxing. At least it doesn't look like me. I might be totally wrong. Maybe there's a bunch of Australian boxing fans. There probably is over there in the town of Down and Under, but I don't see Australia as like a big place to have this fight, and I just don't think it makes sense because they're both are foreign to Australia. It would make more sense if they had the fight in the UK because I know that boxing is huge in the UK, and obviously Fury being from the UK and Fury being the newly crowned WBC champion, that would be a hometown. It would be great to see Fury fight Wilder in the UK because he'll be defending his belt in the UK, in his hometown. So that would be like a good thing for Fury, and his fans will get to see him there. And I would imagine it would be a good event to have it there. But obviously, there's COVID-19 going on, so because of that, right now the fight can't happen in the US. And then he's talking about China. Come on, China, really? I mean, I know Manny Pacquiao fought in China, but that was years ago. I believe it was against Brandon Reels. That was years ago, and I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a good place for these two to have that fight happen. Just because I don't look at China as like a big boxing place. But then again, this is the heavyweight championship of the world, and the heavyweight championship of the world has history of being defended in places like the Philippines. You know what I'm saying? Like in Africa, places that you don't normally see these big type of heavyweight championship fights. So maybe that's what this fight's all about, is making this fight happen in a place where it's a foreign to, where it doesn't normally happen.